So you probably noticed my background is different. I moved again, but this time I don't have roommates. So clap for me, clap for me. I'm alone again. I have not lived alone since I lived in New York and New Jersey, but I went to school in New York. Whatever. So this has been so nice to have quiet, just peace and quiet. Anyways, I'll have the videos up for Juntu and Jejung and everything probably by this week or like the end of this week into next week. It's a lot of videos, so I'm trying to compile everything. I think it's like 30 something videos, so I might have to split it into two, honestly. That's gonna be like 3 hours long, which I don't mind. I like making the videos, but like it's a lot to edit down and upload and render and everything. So yeah, back to the topic at hand. Ian made a live. I think this was like 2 months ago at this point. Yeah, this was 2 months ago because it was before he went to Australia in December. I hope I got that timeline right. Anyways, point is, he made a live about the next chapter of his music, what he's gonna do. And he said something about I am nobody. I think that was it was I am nobody. And how the concept was the idea of if he's somebody to himself, then he's nobody to someone else. So he has to be nobody to himself to be somebody to someone else. And I kind of sat with that concept for a second while he was talking, trying to process. Like he feels like, and I'm not trying to speak for him, but I think he feels like, if I remember correctly from watching the live, because I was kind of tired, that if he puts too much emphasis on himself, if he feels too much ego, too much, what's the word? Pride, I guess, or like if he emphasizes himself too much within the prospect of the relationship of him and someone else, then he can't be an important person to that person because he's too important to himself. So not that he devalues himself, but he doesn't pedestal himself or like make himself, it's hard to word because I understand what he's saying, but trying to really lay it out is difficult. So I'm gonna read some of the lyrics. Somebody made a lyric genius to this. It may not be accurate because this isn't officially like out. He hasn't released the song. He played some of it at one of the shows, and then somebody just kind of like picked the words out of the live and made a lyric thing with it. So I'm gonna read them and see if it helps explain it better in his words, because I can't really put it together as well as I want to. Yeah, he said, I'm nobody at all, I can't remember it all. When I melt my brain into it all, I let myself feel the tension rising. Oh, my bones are breaking, I can't feel your smile. So don't fake it, it's over now. Don't fake it. Okay, I'm gonna finish it and then go back to it. Isn't it amazing? Chase something, chase. I think maybe that was the person who made this guessing. I don't know if that's right or not, because it sounds like it may have just been like more of a chanting art or something. I woke up to my new chamber, closed my body and mind to ask for a favor. Love me now and not later. Just hold me close and watch me change. I'm nobody at all, repeats to the end. So does he feel like he has to transform into a nobody in a way? Because he's saying, just hold me close and watch me change. I woke up in a new chamber, like he's in a new entity, a new version of himself. But that's so interesting because, okay, with the Mido series, right? Because this is going to be completely different from Mido. I'm just speaking about it as far as idealism, not necessarily reflection. They're not the same. But with Mido, right, he has these different sides of his personality that he uses to catastrophe into these characters that he puts out, on stage and makes a storyline with all these songs. But with I Am Nobody, he transforming from that idealism, leaving, Mido to its own thing, back to himself? Does he feel like being a nobody makes him feel like himself? Or like, is being a nobody a representation of who he really is? Because I know the Mido characters are a part of him, right? It's not that it's not him, but it's like he's taken the emotions of who he is and like I said, categorized them and catapulted them into these characters. Whereas this feels more like the nobody is just him at his rawest form. Does that make sense? Because like I said, I'm not him. I'm just speaking theoretically and really just trying to conceptualize it, even though I literally don't have any material to conceptualize it from yet. I'm genuinely that anxious that I'm already making connections based off whatever little he's given us from the live and then from the live performance of the demo of the song. But that calls into question like a human thing. Because personally, I don't know if I feel like if I take myself out of a vision of my relationship with other people, because of course he's looking at this from like, if I'm nobody, then I'm somebody to all of y'all, right? His fans, his family, his friends. If he decenters himself completely, then he can be the best version or like the best possible to these other people. That he can be as, important. And I don't know if, I don't know, for me, not him, because obviously that works for him. But when I think about it for myself, like if I completely decenter myself within the relationship I have with other people, and I'm not a famous person, so I'm not gonna consider the fan part, but my friends and my family, I feel like I would get lost. Because of course, to an extent, that is true, right? When you're considering others, when you're thinking about others, when you're really putting your heart out there in a relationship, you do have to, it's a collaborative thing, right? You're not the entire center of attention, and that's fine. But it sounds like nobody is such a polarizing word, because like the opposite of nobody is somebody. But people's idea of somebody is usually like everyone, like you are everything. So it's very, very polarizing, because I feel like you can be important a little bit in a relationship and still be decentered enough to still be important to yourself. Because I don't think you should. Personally, I don't think you should 100% decenter yourself in your friendships and relationships with others. But I think he feels like, because he already has a very polarizing personality, he already has this kind of all or nothingness to him, that he has to do that in order to feel like he succeeded in being someone for someone else. He has to be, in his brain, he has to see it as like, okay, I'm not important. I'm not the center of this. It's about, that's kind of, and that kind of speaks to something I said to it, like about him in my last video. Like, that's a very selfless, and I mean literally selfless, way of thinking about yourself in context, even of just like your music, other people, fans, family. To do that and to think that way is such a extreme selflessness. That's why when I think about it, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'd completely disappear. And I'm the opposite. I have, not the opposite 100%, but I have a thing where like, I'm always really worried about losing the core of myself in relationships. So I have to be very conscious to not do that, because then I'm insane. I'll just make this person everything and completely forget myself. And that's really, really bad for me, because I can't see myself anymore. I can't even, like, it's kind of scary. it's not good. So the fact that he can manage to do that and see it as a positive and see it as like this helps others and this helps me. Maybe that's a thing too. Maybe it's because it also helps him feel less pressure. Like, if it's not all him and it's not this extreme like me, which is, like I said, a good thing. You want a good balance, then it takes a lot of the pressure of his career, of his life, of his friendships to make it not about him at all, And fans even, like being like, I am a catalyst for these people who look up to me, who see me as an artist that is whatever they think. Everybody has their own opinion. Revolutionary, as someone they can relate to, as someone that they inspired by, or someone that they see themselves in, or someone that they're just really interested in because the art is so intriguing. They're just, whatever, that he can't be that person for all those people if he's too centered of himself. And he actually talked about that for a long time, especially with what happened in his career, all of the things that happen with, oh God, the money and what that kind of stress does to you. And in order to get through those moments, that's another thing. In order to get through those moments, he probably had to take himself out of it to push through. For, all of the other members of DPR, for his team, for everyone. It's like I'm really breaking it down in my own head as I'm talking about it, and I'm making myself understand it more the more I talk about it. That it probably did make it easier and make it more sustainable in a way, because I know he went through a really dark time in 2022 where it was really not sustainable, and touring on no money, not making any money on tour, and still feeling that pressure, still feeling that, and coming from the K-pop world, dealing with so much abuse in the K-pop world, and then going into your own lane, and in a way feeling another way of abuse, and of course being taken advantage of by somebody else. That's a lot to deal with. And he's so young, and he's already done all of that in the last 10 years. Yeah. The way it starts to make sense to me as I talk about it. That's why I have to talk. I swear to God. This is why I have to really do things like this, because I think it helps me understand him more to the best of my abilities. I always hate to feel like I'm speaking for someone else and speaking for their feelings that they haven't said, or overstepping. And I know he's tweeted me a few times and talked to me before about I'm usually on the right track. I usually am correct, but I still don't ever feel comfortable, putting my stamp on ideas that aren't mine, I'm just kind of theorizing around what's already been put out there. But after this, once he does I Am Nobody, and that concept of an album that I think maybe won't be so much of a concept. I think it'll be more so just him, if that makes sense. Because of course the Mido albums, they all have a concept based on these different personalities, based on Mr. Insanity, based on, you know what I'm saying? And so since none of that is going to be a factor here, sonically, will there still be an idea of the I Am Nobody sound? Does that make sense? Because he has a signature sound that he does in a lot of his songs that I noticed. A lot of the production that he uses, a lot of the vocals he uses, but they had a purpose for those characters though. A lot of the higher and lower voices that he did for Mido and Mr. Insanity, that was obviously done purposefully for those characters to build this story. But now that that's not going to be a thing, what is the sound signature going to be for Ian? For just Ian? I just realized that it's going to be a sound that's just him. There's no Mido, there's no Mr. Insanity, there's no, it's just him. That's crazy, dude. And I know that should be a norm, because most artists put themselves in the music. And I'm not saying he's never obviously implemented parts of himself in his music. He obviously has. But this is going to be a totally different approach. And so with this different approach, are we going to have a different sound? That's pretty much where my brain is going. It's like, with this different era and not really concept, I guess the concept is him decentering himself as him not being someone that is important within the relationship with others. It's more so about them and like how he uses what he has to bring life and to bring, you know, all of those things to the relationship, to make it better, to make them better, to make the people around him better, the people who look up to him better, etc. So that's gonna be the idea, but will that sound be different? You know, is he gonna do rock? Is he gonna do metal? Is he gonna do, like, what is it gonna sound like? Because I know he did the live performance of this demo, not performance, but he played the demo, or like the semi-final version of I Am Nobody, I'm Not Sure. But I didn't listen to the audio because I love to be surprised. I do not want to ruin it for myself. I'm one of those people where it's like, I need to go in with a blank slate. I don't want to hear anything. Like, the most I got is these lyrics that may or may not be verified. So this is just the ideal kind of rough draft idea of what it could be about and what it could sound like. But that's probably my biggest question. Since we get the like lyrically, what it's gonna kind of probably be about, what is the sound gonna be? Is it gonna be signature Mito stuff? Is it gonna be a totally different Ian sound that he's never done before? Whoa. Yeah. I wonder if this would be his most emotional album too, because it is just Ian. Like, it's just Ian. It's no one else. I mean, he might have features. I don't know. It'd be cool if he didn't, though. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people who hates features. They rarely give the artists what the song needs. Like, I'm not saying that for Ian specifically. I mean, in general. When it comes to any of the artists I listen to, I typically don't like features. Because every time I hear it, well, 9 times out of 10, when I hear it, I think to myself, this didn't need that. This didn't really add anything. This didn't give anything more. Because that's how I listen to music. It's like, what is its purpose? Did it meet those purposes? Did it meet those points? Was it necessary? Or were you wasting my time? And I will get upset about it. I'll be like, damn, this was a good song. Why did they put that in there? Or damn, this was perfect without this. Why did they add that? You know? So I think because I think it's gonna be called Ian. I could have sworn he said that in the live. I can't remember. I think the album will be called Ian, and this will be one of the songs on there. But since it is called that, I think it'd be really cool if it was genuinely just him. Just him. And I know he's done that before. Like, he doesn't have a lot of collabs on his music anyway. I think, the first one, it was just CL and was Live on that one? I can't remember. And then on the second one, I don't think he had any features. And no, he didn't have any features on the last one either. So keep up the good work. I know it's not made for me. It's do what you want. But of course, I'm going to say it. I like it by himself. Because I feel like Ian's creative and expansive ideas take up so much of the song. He's such a creative person. Usually, in my opinion, features are added to add something to the song. But I think he does that already because he can produce and play instruments and sing and write. But he does them all very well, because you can do all those things and the song is not good. Like, oh God. Like, you could write your own song, but it's not good though. Or you can sing your own tracks and produce your own tracks and mix and master and all that stuff, your own tracks. And the idea of that is impressive, but the outcome, a lot of the time, 50-50. Like, I've heard a lot of songs where I'm like, this could have used a writer. I know he did it all himself, but this could have used a producer. This could have used someone else's help. But I don't feel like that with Ian. I wonder does he want us to call him Ian or Christian? I don't know. I just randomly thought about that. I kept saying Ian. I just thought about it and I was like, does he want us to call us Ian or Christian? I don't think it matters. But yeah, I think he is enough. I really do. I really think he's enough. Now, I would never be opposed to listening to another feature on his album, obviously. Because he makes good decisions, because he does a lot of the creative control, if not all of it, when it comes to his stuff. I'm sure he would not choose someone that was bullshitting, or he wouldn't choose someone that wouldn't be, necessary, right? Like I said earlier, I trust his decisions when it comes to this stuff. So if he does, he does. Prefer it if he didn't. If he does, he does. But I still am worried. I'm not worried, but I'm still thinking about the movie too. Like, girl, he mentioned doing a movie with all the characters with Mido. Will that come out after he finishes the album for Ian? I'm just going to call the album Ian. I'm going to say it's called Ian. I don't know, but I think that's what it's going to be called. So I'm going to when I say Ian, that's what I'm referring to. After he finishes that, will it be the movie? Because I've been talking about this movie since last year, girl. Since he brought it up in the live, it blew my mind. I put on Twitter a combination of questions that I would ask Ian if I got to interview him, because I tweeted that I wanted to interview Ian. And so I was like, these are the questions, sample questions that I would say. And that was definitely one of them, because I really want to know about that. Because imagine what he could do with a movie. Because look at what he's done with just the music videos, with just the album. Like, if he made a movie, it would be incredible. Because the one hard thing about making movies, in my opinion, is pacing. It is. Because for me, a lot of the time, that's what makes or breaks it. How are we transitioning from this to this? How does this matter from this to this? How did this connect this to this? And in what pace are you doing that at? There's so many movies where the theme and the concept is so good, but the pacing is terrible. Sorry, I'm going to brunch and my friend just texted me to tell me she was on her way, so I was trying to text her back. Anyways, he's so good at pacing and scenery, and like, the first thing that popped in my head when I said that is when he did Limbo and he's screaming in silence and there's that chaos going on in the background. Insane. And of course he does a lot of good graphics and coloring and things like that. Like, his eye for just all around creativity is unreal. Like, he really does. I mean, he has a creative team. I know he has a team, but I feel like his input is just so great. He doesn't need too much, I guess is how I'm gonna say it, because I don't want to ever disregard the people that is around him, that helps him and puts all his ideas to life with him, of course. But yeah, I'm just so curious about this new era. Is it gonna hold back on the big showmanship vibrato that he's given so far and be a little bit more reserved? Because it's just gonna be him. It's gonna be Ian. So I'm really, not that I feel like I'm saying I'm happy to get to know him, but I feel like I kind of already do. And I know that's a very what's the word, delusional thought, right? Like, we're strangers. I get that. But I feel like from the way he expresses himself, I really get it. Like, I really get him. And it was kind of crazy because when I talked to him after the show in Dallas for 0.5 seconds, no, it was longer than that, but you know what I mean. he was saying like, you're so thoughtful and attentive and like detailed. And I was thinking to myself, that is literally everything I say about you. Like, these are all the thoughts I have always thought about him. You know what I'm saying? Everything he was saying to me, I was just thinking, yeah, you, yes, yes, yes. This is what I'm getting too. So it's just nice to know that even though I do try and be like, chill, that I'm also on the right path usually when it comes to a lot of his artistic stuff, some of his personal stuff that he has decided to share. So it's probably going to be obviously incredible, but how is he gonna do it? I don't know. I'm so glad people and artists like Ian exist, because they just make art exciting and they give you something to look forward to. I'm like, damn, I've been thinking about this for a while. Like, that live happened months ago and I'm making a thing about it right now. Like, I'm still thinking about it, girl. I'm so happy because there's so little things that I have that are so tailored to my taste. Not because I'm this, like, upper echelon, like my taste is the best or something, but I have specific things that I like, and I'm very, very, very stubborn about it. And for me, a lot of the time, a lot of the stuff I listen to, or like a lot of the art I ingest, whether it's movies or books or whatever, it's all or nothing. Like, you got to hit all of the points, all of the things that I love to hear, all of the creative ideas that I love to, like, it's everything I could ask for all the time. It's so consistent. It's so good. Like, that, it's so rare, to have something or someone or artist or whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is, that is so tailored to you without even trying. Like, example is Ian. It's just him being his creative self. He's not thinking about me. He don't know me. He don't know what I like. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that it's so in tuned, like, there's never been a time I've listened to an Ian song, or I've read Ian lyrics, or I've watched the Ian video, or I've watched a performance, or I've looked at, and there's never been a time I've thought to myself, he could have did this though, but like he could have did this though, like he could have added this though, he could have blah blah blah, like, because my brain always does that. My brain, when I'm listening to lyrics, sometimes I'll even change the words to other people's songs because I'm like, this would have been better. Yeah, I'm an asshole. But I never feel like that. I'm like 10 out of 10 because I'm very critical. I'm a violin teacher and a music teacher. I'm annoying. I know it. Hands up. You ain't gotta tell me, baby, I'm annoying. I'm surgically picking apart everything all the time. It's just my pastime. It's fun. So that's what I do to a lot of songs, every song. Like, what makes this thing good? Why do I love it so much? Oh, because it does this thing. It goes to this key, it modulates to this part, it changes tempo and arrangement to this part, it's composed like this. It's all of the things that make it so interesting. And the more you add to it, the even better. Sometimes not. Sometimes less is more. It just depends. Like, if you're doing less in one area and do more than another, like if maybe the lyrics aren't all that, but the production is crazy, like, it gives that balance. Now I'm just being a nerd because I can, and it's my channel, and I can be annoying. Honestly, this is part of the reason why I made this channel. I was like, I can just be as annoying as I want for however long as I want about the things that I care about the most, which is art, which is music, So I think that's where I'm gonna stop. with Ian and what it means to be human in the concept of what Ian has seen in his life and how he has seen what it means to be human for himself.